Hello, lovers.
Roses are red, violets are blue. We really want to share our conversation hearts with you.
Welcome to Likewise's second annual Week of Love with a new bookish episode every day. I'm Issa.
And I'm Sam, and we're so excited for you to join us and our author Galentine's while we share our love for romance books.
What can I say? We love love. Welcome to day 5 of Week of Love.
Today is our first day without a guest, and it
We
is
are the guest.
we are the guest. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I love episodes where we're the guest.
Hmm.
We get to like ask questions and answer them,
Oh yeah, I was like, I don't know what you mean, but okay.
Like co-host interviews, like spotlight.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, yes. So today, oh my gosh, this is so weird to say. Today is actually release day for me for you. Wow.
So weird.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, we are currently in our like last days as we're recording this of not being published novelists. I feel weird saying novelist. I feel like the word novelist is reserved for like classics, but it's totally not. And yeah, it's weird to like think ahead and know how I'm gonna feel on that day, but
Wow, so now we can introduce ourselves as authors.
whoa, what?
Wow, the Sam Louise Books, poet and author.
Right, poet and YA romance author.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is so funny to be here because we're like, we're gonna have our like release day episode, but then we're getting down to it and we're like, oh, this is an interview, but for us, and it's us doing it.
Yeah, like maybe that. Yeah, like we're just gonna be asking the questions and answering them, but it's fine.
Yeah. So, if you don't know us, I guess, um, a small little intro is that we are Sam and Issa, or Samantha, your government name, Samantha and Isabella, where we met each other in college, because we were in the same sorority, and then we became friends the second year of knowing each other, and we started a podcast, and we've been doing that for going on 6 years now, and now we're writing books together, apparently.
6 years is such a wild thing to say. Like, I don't think we've actually known each other that long, but we have, I guess. And yeah, that's so strange. I actually have been getting shocked by my Snapchat memories recently, and they've made me feel kind of weird. Um,
Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm actually old now. Like, I'm in my mid 20s. I mean, I feel like 24 is the start of your mid 20s because, like, you're not early 20s anymore. I'm like, oh, shoot. But I think I was in denial. Sorry, guys. Oh my gosh, we're in the mid 20s too. Well, I got 25, the official mid 20s. Ugh.
but it does feel fun to be like doing cool adult things, like finding new hobbies and passions and doing things with them, like writing a book. Like what? That's definitely just like a culmination of us growing up and like being, years out of college and all of that. So things are developing for us.
Yeah, which is something that's, like, so funny. Like, uh, remembering back, or like, no, I was a reader growing up, but then like remembering more and more, like memories are unlocking, and like, wait, I guess I kind of was a reader until like end of elementary school, and then middle school and high school. I didn't read, and then I did read a little bit in 2020, and then started again in 21, and then since 22 I've been reading consistency. So that is my literacy journey.
No, I think it's like it's hard to like think of what makes you a reader and like if you were or not when like I feel like a lot of times like you can enjoy it, but like having books you read for school like consuming you like changes your connection to like reading for fun. So it's fun to find that spark again as an adult and then it develop into something more. So, yeah.
Really. Um, and this episode is no different from all the others. We're going to start it with our roses and thorns. So, Sam, what are your roses and thorns for today?
Thorns. Let's see. I think my thorn's just gonna be that like life's been like chaotic. Just with everything going on, there's been a lot to remember. It's also the beginning of the craziest time of year just in my life in general when it's busy season for my boyfriend. He's an accountant, and so it's just chaotic and just a lot shifts. Like our entire routine gets flipped on its head and just like having to remember like our different schedules from each other and like having our days that like we both like kind of are up late grinding or doing all this stuff or remember like I forgot to pull like me out for like dinner for like the one day not one day a week but like one of like 2 days of the work week that we have dinner together. So then it just like random things like that, just slipping away and just making life chaotic, um, is not fun, but we persevere. And hopefully after like book release and everything is done and like all that is kind of behind us and Week of Love wraps up, can get a better routine on track. But ever since the new year, I just have been like so off track and have not gotten back on. Um, and then my rose is obviously release day. It's probably gonna feel really good to have the book out. And just I'm looking forward to just appreciating all the sweet messages and comments and just love we're gonna get from our friends. Let me just say they're gonna love us, but like they will. Like experienced it once before with my poetry book last year, and so I just kind of like know a little bit of the feeling of what's gonna come, but I do think it's gonna be different with this book, and I'm just excited to soak it in.
Oh my gosh. My rose is in my thorn. Well, my rose and thorn are very much just like one and the same, but two very different sides of it. So, yes, today is release day, and that is obviously a rose, but the thorns are coming with it. Or just like my nerves about it. I I don't know. Like I know that like my friends are so supportive and like the people in my circles are so supportive and they support me in everything I do, whether they like actually pay attention to it or not. Like I just know I have cheerleaders all around me, which is so sweet, but they also like it stresses me out. I don't know. I'm like, oh my gosh, they know this other side of me, which it shouldn't, but it does. So, we're working on it. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just, it's fun, exciting, invigorating, but also so scary, which I'm sure I'm not the only person to feel this, but kind of wish I was, just that, like, other people wouldn't have to be nervous about putting something that they work so hard on and, like, love. Also, comforting to know, no, I'm not the only one. So that is my weird little rose and thorn. But mostly excited that this little labor of love is out in the world.
Yes. Yeah, I was thinking about that recently. Honestly, on my drive home from work today, I was thinking about how there's like a group of my coworkers that I talk to about book stuff all the time. They know about this, they've seen the proof, or they've like known about things along the way. But then there's also like a handful of people I work with who have no clue. Maybe they like have seen the few times I've shared like a story or something. Um, but also I don't think so because we never talk about it. So I'm just like, it'll be interesting because I'll definitely post about it on my personal Instagram. So I'm like, it'll just be interesting to see like then the reaction after and like I don't know, like it's just so different. Like the poetry book was one thing, but then I think like this one is gonna be like a bigger shock and like some people might be like, wait, you were doing this that whole time? Like how? So
No, totally. I think like man, oh man, just the different circles of my life coming together. Like people from my soccer team that I didn't know before, we started playing soccer together and now they follow me on Instagram and they're like, "Oh, you're doing this one." Like, please don't talk to me about it. Like my life, my soccer life and my creative life. Let's keep that separate. But at the same time, it's just so fun. So, uh, we'll keep you updated on how this goes. Yeah, we might have
Yeah, we might have to have an awkward interactions segment for the foreseeable future on the podcast.
That's so funny. Yeah, so we haven't really talked this through how we're gonna be doing this, but so we're just gonna be like asking the questions because we can't exactly just like answer the questions that aren't asked because then you guys don't know what we're talking about. Um, but yeah, so obviously, Me for You is the first book, book one, of the 214 series, which is based on 214 by the Band Camino, so that's that's free. Um, but yeah, so it's releasing today, and we are so excited. You can get it on KU, Kindle Unlimited, and Amazon, and nowhere else. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said and oh, there it is again. Okay, I guess just like we'll talk a little bit about the writing process and some things we've learned from publishing that I don't know we didn't know before, which is a lot because yeah, it's yeah. Um, Sam knew a little bit before, just like from her poetry collection that she published last year, but yeah, I knew nothing. Yeah, so trying to ask a question, but also like, no, this is just what we're gonna be talking about. I don't know. I always feel like I'm like a panel moderator.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, the process was processing. And for our like behind the scenes episode tomorrow, we're gonna do a little bit more of a deep dive, but um I will say like we from my perspective, like I think we learned a lot. Like there's still a lot that I didn't know, because it is so different going from poetry to just fiction, novel. But I am very glad there's certain things I did know a lot about. Like I'm glad that I like understood how to work everything in KDP and have like uploaded and gone through and done a book in there before, and that like I designed my own cover for the poetry book too, so I knew how that worked with like the sizing and templates, and just kind of being ready for that with this book. And yeah, but one thing that I think we learned, one thing that I think will influence our future process is like just like our timeline and just certain things on the planning side. Like we were very organized and had a lot of good systems set up for ourselves, like sheets and docs and like calendar things. And we like booked edits and did all this stuff. And we had some lovely, lovely alpha readers who are our friends. And like we just like we are such procrastinators that like we did not meet our own deadlines like every single time. And obviously there were other things going on, and we just, you never know how deep you're getting into something until you're doing it and you learn from doing. So now we just know that certain things take us longer, or now we kind of like we want to outline more than we just did the first time, or we don't want to write out of order this time and we want to like try and stay in order and still keep our same organization systems, but I think like we decided obviously like we need to bake in more time into some of our timelines is what we learned. Like just so that we can have like a give ourselves a better like feedback experience and like really get like this time we like want to do beta readers and we didn't do that this last time. So I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, for sure. I knew nothing, and I still know relatively little. I have a KDP account, and that's Kindle Direct Publishing. So if you're just gonna publish, like, basically, like, through Amazon, that's all I know. Um, Sam has, like, done everything else, and I feel so bad because she's just taking it all head on and, like, just with so much grace, and I feel so much like oh my gosh, I'm doing nothing, and like she has to do the whole manuscript and that she has to edit and has to put in there, and yeah, like the cover, she has to do all this stuff, and I'm just sitting here like, hey, I actually cannot do a thing because this is all linked to her account. So that is the, I'd say, like, biggest drawback or downside of being co-authors is that like one person really does have to take the lead, which is totally fine. I'm not saying that like I'm mad about that, but I feel bad that I can't really do much except tell her, hey, this needs to be done. Just started just like me fixing it, but yeah. But yeah. Writing process. Yeah. Again, like we'll go into more details tomorrow, but I mean, if we could talk about all of our spreadsheets and documents and stuff, that'll be fun. We'll do it. We'll do it. But what about it? What about it really sticks out to me? I think like we and I know we've talked about this before, but I just feel like we work really, really well as a team and like we had very similar visions to or like the whole thing overall over like the whole process. And if we just had an idea, like we just send a quick text or a voice message or a very long voice message, maybe not so quick about it, and then we'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, that's so good. But then we immediately forget about it and then that idea is over. But the ones that we didn't forget, we put them in, and I think that was just really fun and like creative way to keep up with it. I don't know, voice messages or I don't know. It was just so fun and exciting. Oh my gosh, we should have implemented voice messages into the book. Okay, it'll actually be perfect for book two and book three. Loki. Okay, sorry, guys. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm so sorry. You will find out later. I don't really know what to say, but yeah. Again, we were I feel like we're really, really diligent in our scheduling and just making sure that we did have time for everything so that we could have like relatively lax last month, which we actually have had a pretty lax last month and been relatively hands off with except like minor editing details in there. But now that we're coming down to the like wire, we're like, oh my gosh, wait, we forgot about this and this and this. So I think building it out and like scheduling, another month into our schedule will be nice for future stuff.
There's just always going to be things that you don't anticipate. Like we're like, yes, we're so set for this whole month. We don't have to do anything. And then it gets down to the wire and we're like, oh my gosh, you know what? Actually, like we got our proof and like we're like now we should like actually read the whole thing and like make sure there's no formatting mistakes and like random typos that we missed or like things that just slipped through like our proofread and whatnot. And so that's just been kind of funny. And we're like, wait, we actually have to hustle because our like final stuff has to be uploaded like ASAP.
I will say though that for like first time authors, like we actually did do pretty well with our schedule. And I think that like if we did have just one more month then we'd be so golden. So I'm really not upset about it. I don't know, I think kind of I'm like okay, with me being the warrior that I am, I totally am not surprised that it went this way. But just with like the scheduling and figuring that out, like girl mathing it backwards, but also with me knowing absolutely nothing about how to do any of this stuff, I'm I'm genuinely I'm so surprised at how well it actually did work out for us.
And we had like a lot of help along the way. Like obviously we kind of like knew what we should do or like we asked our editor Ellie for like feedback on the date we were booking with her and like how like that timeline was going to work and the turnaround and like with our release day and like that was helpful. Um like we had a good grasp of like how long we thought things would take us and we were right. Like yeah, we got it all done, but that's not to say we didn't have like some times of chaos or feeling like we had to hustle, but um I mean, I think that's always going to happen. You're going to run into like peaks of inspiration and like good writing sprints and you're going to have the valleys too. So, um it was all built in just fine and we got it done and we're very happy with how it turned out. So,
Of course, there were going to be some hiccups along the way, but we anticipated for quite a few, which was surprising. Again, I feel like that's just the theme of this episode, but yeah, of course, unexpected hiccups, and that's really fun.
obviously that's some stuff we'll get way, way, way more into, like real process wise. We'll get into the nitty-gritty tomorrow, and you'll maybe get to connect the dots of what we meant by like what our hiccups were, or like just I think when you can understand like our organization, it's impressive. Like the things we did are very helpful. And I think if anybody else is writing and looking for a process or like wants to co-author or something, I think it could be helpful. But um, yeah, you could have a great process and still be a little bit of a procrastinator and things, but that's fine. At least we're self-aware.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Amazing. Okay, well, I guess also process wise, this question's so fun. It's like one of my favorites to hear people talk about. But just like what are some of like our favorite moments or parts of the process from just having the idea of the book to writing, posting arcs, releasing literally any part of the process? Um, yeah, I have a feeling I know what one of your answers is going to be, just because as of recent, it was amazing and you loved it so much. So I'm intrigued to see if I'm right. But what was your favorite part of the process?
Okay, now I'm scared because like I know my process. But now I'm like nervous. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I disappoint her and it's not right? No, my favorite part of the process was like the idea phase. I loved that. Like that was the most fun thing for me. Like, yeah, writing was fun. Yeah, um, doing dev edits sucked. And like PR has been fun, like thinking about that stuff and like getting stuff together and like putting everything together, like that's gonna be so fun. But no, like the idea phase, that is my favorite part because it's just like, oh my gosh, the story is nothing, but we're making it into something. And which I like kind of surprised me when I first thought about that, like that is my favorite part because I'm like, oh, that actually really stresses me out. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I want to have a roadmap, but yeah. And like the a lot of our friends have said no, like the characters really write themselves, and I'm like, yeah, actually they do. Like, of course we give them like their we write them first, and then like give them their personalities, kind of, but then they just really come out, and it's so funny. And then I'm like writing stuff, and then when someone says something, I'm like, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh, you scoundrel. You're so silly. I'm like, wait, no, that's me. But yeah, no, it's been so much fun. And then like doing this whole process with you, Sam, has made it like exponentially more fun just because I do have you to like bounce ideas off of. And then like, yeah, the voice notes, amazing. And like just going through everything. And then the scary part was actually starting to write because it's like, shoot, these aren't just ideas now. Like this is like a real life thing. But yeah, so the idea phase, that's my favorite part of the process. What about you?
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think the idea phase just sticks out so much because also with us and the way we wrote this book, like the idea phase was always on. Like it never turned off. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that was just like the motivation and the spirit keeping the whole thing alive the whole time is that we constantly, even now, still the idea phase is still on. We're always sending ideas and random things, songs, voice notes, all that stuff. And I just think that brainstorming's really amazing. The other night I was thinking about how like actually my favorite thing ever was um in October of 2023 when you visited me here. We had this book idea for like 7 months already. I don't know how many months was between like then and now, but whatever. But we had the idea for like almost the whole summer and into the fall. And we had just seen the band Camino in concert, and we already knew that they had a big connection to our story and inspired a lot of our things. But at the time, the story was completely different. And I think we've talked about this before, but we were sitting in my bed for like a long time, just like having ideas back and forth and giggling and sitting on our dock that had like all of our ideas for the whole series. Um, just like making these connections and just turning the plots on their heads. Like everything we thought we knew about what the book was going to be changed that night. Like we changed everything about like the story and it just like fell into place from there. And like that was just like so fun. But I just think those moments where we got to just be really collaborative were definitely my favorite because that's where we really got to make like progress. Everything's kind of harder when we weren't like, having time to collaborate like that. Um, but yeah, I think like just naturally being co-authors, my favorite moments like are always going to be like any of those like special moments we like share together where it feels like things really like come to fruition. Or like
Mm.
obviously like the night that we finished the book, it was so late and we were so like deliriously tired, but we were on FaceTime and like we were rewriting the ending of the book so many times and we finally did it. And when we wrote the end in our little doc and we were like, wait, like did we actually do it? And like I was so tired, but then when I went to bed, I could not fall asleep because like it was still that feeling of like, did we finish?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, no, that's so true. I not that I forgot about like our like 2, 3 hour discussion on your bed, Courtney, but I kind of forgot about that. No, that was so funny because like we had so many like plot holes and we're like, okay, well, we don't know how we're gonna get there. We don't know how we're gonna get there. Like, is this even something that we need to do? And like we just were finally able to like talk through everything. And like we tried talking about it over FaceTime and stuff before, but like nothing was working. And so we're like, okay, we'll just think about it, I guess. But then like finally being in person is like, oh, this is what we needed. This is the inspiration, motivation we need to like actually have these conversations. And like, no, that was so fun. That was really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and like sending each other songs all the time, also one of my favorite parts.
Yeah. No, it's just like it's constant motivation and like just the accountability or like anything that like it takes just like one of us saying the smallest thing or literally just sending a song to like get the other person like motivated again and inspired and like writing. So just having that back and forth and that energy is really nice to like pull out of like a slump or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Awesome.
so like all of our chapters are actually song titles. And so I would say that that's like the biggest place we got inspiration from. And then like also like 2014 fanfic. Guys, if you want a book that feels like 2014 fanfic, this is the book for you. Um, sorry, that's what my favorite review said.
Yeah. And like but like without like I feel like saying that it's so funny because I'm like, wow, I feel a little misleading if I say that because like a lot of everyone's favorite 2014 fanfics had smut and weren't like young adult vibes, but um
So this is very 2014 fanfic just because
yeah.
it's so young adult
Uh-huh.
and like that's what it was. I don't know. And yeah, so like all of the chapter titles are song titles and we have playlists for them and so like that is where we get probably most of our inspiration from, but then also just like the bands we listen to. Like honestly, this was so many of the conversations like, okay, what's the wildlife doing? Like how big are they? Like and so Try Hard is very much modeled off after them, just in like their growth and progression and stuff, which is so fun. And then just like other bands too, and Pinterest, of course, of course, of course, and now Dupe. Thank you, Dupe.
Thank
Photos,
you.
you. Um, but yeah, it's I don't know, inspiration, at least like on that side, like just like the story side, very much just the music we already listened to, and then characters wise, I don't know. I just kind of think about I was like, I've never written a book before, and everyone's like, you just write what you know. I was like, okay, well, I kind of know me, or I know like what I would want to do, or like how like my sister would react, or how like my friends would react in these situations. So then I like just kind of wrote characters like that, and then they evolved and like became like their own things and stuff, which was so funny. And yeah, that's honestly, I think that like really shocked me is that like no, like the characters actually do become their own self, like their own
Mm.
people, like themselves. And like because when authors have told us that before, I was like, yeah, okay, okay. But then actually experiencing, I'm like, oh yeah, that's real.
Yeah, no, and it's really natural too. And that was like one thing we were really scared of as co-authors too. Like when we first finished like the first act of our book and we had our amazing friends, our alpha readers who were reading over it for us, we like very well, one, we like did not share with them or tell them or make it known who wrote what at all because we were really scared that like our voice wasn't gonna come across consistent. Like we were like, well, I don't know, like who knows, like if they could tell a stark difference between our chapters or when it if we're not like both because we both would write in both points of view. So it's like, what if like Hallie isn't making sense or Kate's not making sense because like we're both writing them different. Um, Even though we kind of obviously both had the same vision. And so it was really awesome after like we finished that to like get the feedback and hear like that honestly, they had no idea who wrote what, and like when it switched, and that was amazing. We did obviously run into some character things to develop more, but like, it was just cool how like yeah, it just told itself, and we knew them, and we uh just it just naturally happened. Like all the dialogue, just so natural. Um, very, I don't know, just that came really easily, which is
Mhm.
interesting as two people.
It was actually really funny because like one of our friends like commented on a line that someone like said or did or whatever. And then like I just know Issa wrote this, or I can just hear this in Issa's voice. And then in parentheses she goes, please don't tell me if I'm wrong. And I'm so sorry to say it, but she was wrong.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. But like it made sense. I was like, that's good though, because obviously like like you were saying, like as I was writing, I'm like, okay, what would like Issa's train of thought be? Like as she's like as this is happening, or like trying to get some of like your like personality in and like how I knew like some of like
Hmm.
what I noticed the tone was when you were writing as that character. I'm like, okay, like how do I like bring that same energy? And so like a lot of times I would think of you, and so I'm like, okay, mission accomplished, I guess. If she's like, this sounds like Issa, I'm like, yeah, cool.
Also, it's so funny because that was like such a cynical thought that like happened. Like not the comment, but like what she commented
Oh
on like
yeah, yeah.
I was like, that's so funny. Yeah, so that's kind of yeah, so those are like our favorite parts of the process, and just places we draw inspiration from. Oh my gosh, this one is so hard. We're literally like this is oh man, this took a long time. What is maybe not like what's our favorite lines because we're actually currently going through the book right now, trying to just catch any last minute mistakes. And guys, I'm not actually about this book. I'm right. We're stressed. So this one was hard, but we're gonna share like some of our favorite lines that both like one. So I'm gonna share. Oh my gosh, we're each gonna share two of like our favorite lines. One that each of us has written. So share
Yes.
your favorites.
Okay, so I think
Or just like leave it in the air. Maybe we just leave it so that's not like spoilery.
oh wait, leave what?
Like like never mind. That's not that was weird. Because I was like, oh, should we say this is like chapter like 86? The guys that are in 86 chapters.
Oh, imagining just oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe not.
I'll I'll keep it. Mine's early on in the book, very, very early, so I think that'll help not be super spoilery. Um, but I think one of my favorites, um, so when we first started writing, one of my like favorite chapters that I had written has been rewritten. I've rewritten it like twice. And it was like a favorite the first time. I like loved it because it was kind of unique and different. And then we were like, wait, we need to change this concept because it just doesn't make sense. And then even after it changed so much in edits. Like I swear I've rewritten this chapter so much. And I had the hardest time rewriting it because I was holding on to how much I loved the original version. And then when I finally just did the scrap, redid it, I fell in love with it so much more. And it was also one of the first chapters that Issa sent me like video reactions of her reading my like uh chapters or whatever. So I think that's just like I don't know, it just feels more special. But I think I have like other favorites now, but it's just I think always gonna be a favorite. Um and it's basically there's just like a whole scene where like Hallie and Cade run into each other. Um he just like shows up while she's like walking one morning. She's like literally trying not to think about him and of course he appears because she's trying not to think about him. Um and anyways, there's this whole thing where like he like tells her about how he was like out because he was like helping at the record shop she works at, like helping the owner with something because he used to work there. What are you information you'll find out in the book. Um, and so he's like, yeah, let's actually go back. Like I'll show you the like stuff we were doing. And he like kind of like takes off and starts walking off without her waiting for her to follow and they end up stuck across the street from each other like he gets across the crosswalk without her and by the time she like gets up there the stuff changes and she can't cross the street because like cars are driving and so I think there's like just a sweet moment there um and she's just kind of like they're staring across at each other, and she's like noticing he's kind of like bobbing his head around, like humming, obviously thinking of a song. And so she's wondering, like, I wonder what song it is. Like if this was a movie, what song would be playing? Like just typical Hallie thought. And I posted this quote on Instagram before, so I feel fine reading it. But eventually, after that whole cute moment, she says, well, she doesn't say, she thinks it. Um, maybe it's the first scene where the friends think they could become lovers, and maybe the perfect song hasn't been written yet. And it's just like such a, I don't know, it's a good just Hallie statement of thought. And I think I just remember that one a lot because of how much that chapter has been through.
Yeah. Okay, I'm really annoyed because I should have gone first. I thought you were gonna take mine. You didn't, but it is literally like 3 paragraphs before that. And
That's hilarious.
it is no, literally like I was looking through like this is marked up. Do you see this?
Oh my gosh, cute.
Um, so yeah, there okay. There's something electric between us as we stand 40 feet away with nothing else to do but look across at each other. Not even the cars passing by are a distraction worth stealing our attention. I love that line.
Yeah, I almost used that as like as mine because that paragraph is like one of my faves. But
No, like that whole paragraph is so good. So I wanted to read the whole thing, but then I was like, no, they have to read the lead up to that. But oh my gosh, no, when you were describing, I was like, don't you freaking dare.
I decided to go with the line at the end of it. But
Good. Guys, so that's just a little taste. Oh my gosh. Ah, that's so good.
so funny. And then let me go to my tab. My there's lots of things that are my favorite of things Issa wrote, and I every time I think about this, I think it's because it's just like you get the raw experience of being like a reader, and so like you're drawn to like I get the element of surprise when I read something Issa wrote, like because it's not like yeah I wrote this and I know, um, but something that has like pretty much stayed the same. I guess this is kind of another chapter that had a lot of work done to it, and it's always been like a favorite chapter, like iconic chapter of the book, um, from pretty early on. I just love the way that the chapter for swimming in the moonlight ends, and
Mm.
um, yeah, like the whole last 2 paragraphs of that are just iconic to me, and I've always loved them, and I'm glad that maybe some things about them have changed in edits, but they've basically stayed exactly the same. Um, and so here's one of my favorite Issa moments. It says, um, sometimes I make her laugh, and that's one of my most favorite moments ever. But then she starts talking about ideas for merch, and that becomes my new favorite thing. And eventually she goes quiet and just looks up at oh, not me messing it up, and just looks at me and smiles before looking up at the stars. And then that's when I start to think I'm in heaven.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
I've just always I have always just loved that so much because that chapter's like a whirlwind. Um, it's after this like moment where Hallie and Kate. Oh, my other one I was gonna mention is actually in the chapter before this, in her point of view, before they like leave this party together and go run off for this late night adventure. And it's so simple, so no context. Also, my my second my runner-up that I almost used for my Issa favorite um is literally just a Hallie internal thought that's just butterflies, butterflies, butterflies. I think about that every day of my life, which is so
That's so funny.
it's so random, but it's just like one of my favorite things ever.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, picking one of my own that's like one of my favorites is so hard because I was like, I don't even know which ones I wrote and which ones Sam wrote. Like, because so many things were like edited or like rewritten. Well, obviously edited and rewritten, like same thing. There have just been so many revisions and so many things that like we really collaborated on. So I'm like, I don't even know what is Issa anymore. So I asked Sam if this was me or her, and she's like, I think it was you, so I'll just take the credit. Um, so sorry if it wasn't. But this is towards the end, and Cade and Hallie are having a cute little moment, blah, 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 blah. And he says to her, you're my muse, Valentine. You're the only one I could ever do all this for. I was just like, oh, imagine someone saying that to you. Right.
Oh,
Cry.
so cute. I love
Man.
it. There's so many things. Honestly, I will say my all my other favorites are the silly things, anything that's like a funny joke in the book. Um, and yeah. Yeah, so many good things.
Oh, that's so fun. I haven't thought about like favorite lines or moments.
One
Um,
of mine, I won't give any context because it's a fun laugh when it's in the book, but all I will say is Conversations. That's one of my favorite things.
that, oh my, no, I think about conversations all the time.
I'd want to be more than a shoulder shrug. Like that is like iconic to me.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
that you
I do
did.
like that one.
Literally anything about scene just cracks me up.
Yeah, that one was good too.
So many
Wow,
sillies, but
how silly of us.
yeah, how silly of us. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, Ooh, tough question next. But I guess we can dive into if we have characters that we've written that we relate to the most, which I have not thought about this at all.
Okay, for some
Oh,
reason, I was kind of thinking about this like a couple episodes ago, or like when we were recording with the guest. Um, and I don't know why I started thinking about it, but I was just like, who would I say? And this is gonna be like totally random answer, I think. Um, which is really funny because like we were just talking about how like we write what we know. So like the characters that we're writing, I'm like, okay, how would I react? Or like how would I feel about this? How would I do that? So you'd think, oh, it'd be Hallie. No, I think it's Zach. Just because he's like, and the thing is he's not even like developed that much, which is so
I,
funny. We don't really know him, but he's just kind of I don't even know. He's just so random and like he has like just like these like little things about him that's like, oh, he's kind of feisty. Or like,
niche
oh,
knowledge or like
yeah, and just like different interests. Like we don't put any of this in the book. It's like when we were making like our meet the characters, whatever. Like I was just like, I don't know. Like let me just put something random. And so like one of the things is like his backup plan if the whole band thing doesn't work out is he's gonna be a pilot. Like what? Um, but no, I just think which is so funny because I don't think I'm like this at all, but he's so quick and witty and like it's really funny too. Um, yeah, so maybe we'll have to do more with Zach.
that's so funny. Um, yeah, no, this is hard. I feel like I definitely see like small things from each character. Like as much as I'm like, oh, I want to say this person because of this. I'm like, well, but that entirely other part of them is like not me at all, you know? Um, I feel like this sounds weird, but I almost feel like I would be if we blended like Mel and Abbott into one person.
Mm.
Like they both are very like busybodies, like quite achievery or like kind of are like those people who almost have the front of seeming like they have everything like all together. Like they just like are doing the thing. Um, but also like inside don't have all that figured out. But obviously like there's still more to come from them. So like I don't want to say them because like as we write more of them, I feel like I'm not gonna feel like I am them as characters. Or I feel like I don't have some of the more bold traits of them. So yeah, I
It's so funny.
honestly like what if I'm Mason and he also isn't like developed?
Okay, no, I'm so sorry. Mason's in there, guys. Sorry, spoiler. Mason's in there for like one scene. You're not Mason.
Um, yeah, no, I think I could be a lot of people. I would love to like Ruby is like the aspiring cool girl I would love to be, and I'm not her. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think I'm all of them. But also I think just naturally I a lot of Hallie, but just from her being a fashion girl, maybe.
Honestly, like I see you so much as Mel. Like
Yeah,
you're just
I
like
think
you're
I
just
have to
Mel
do
to me.
that. It's just very much the vibe and Yeah, I think there's like enough similar
Because
things.
like Mel knows what she wants to do and she's gonna do everything she can to do it. And that's very much who you are. Like
Right.
ambition, yeah, she's got it, you've got it. And like that's like so like just core Mel,
Hmm.
core Sam, and like people just happen to be with her, but even if they're not, like she's still gonna do what she needs to do to get to where she wants to be.
Right. Like I think what my only holdup with her was feeling like I probably would not have like, you know what though? I was gonna say I don't think I would have pulled off the scheming that Mel does with like the operations, but I have a track record more than once in high school. I did set up my friends like with each other through like double dates or like that kind of thing. Like I like one yeah, 2 years in a row. Like I was like talking to someone, so then we schemed together to get like our friends together, and it happened twice. So yeah,
Wrong.
Mel, maybe
Spoiler.
I
JK.
like being a matchmaker.
No, no, when you're like, I don't know if I could pull that up. No, you absolutely could, and I think you so would.
Right. Like I guess I did. Not in like the same way, but I did.
Yeah, so I definitely think you're Mel. Um, sorry, Mason.
Mason wants to be Mel so bad. No. Oh, anyways, what a fun question.
That's really funny. Oh, I love that. Okay. Wow. We're not just writers, we're readers too. So, what is a book or books that you, Sam, would recommend to absolutely everyone?
Well, I feel like I'll just rapid fire because we've talked about our favorite books ever so much. Um, but I would say Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Uh, just amazing. Um, let's see. Eastern Standard by Sierra Spencer. Mm, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black and Misconnections by Tessa Dorico.
Oh, those are so good. I'm like trying to think of books like not just like my favorites, but books that I would actually recommend to like if someone asked me for a book rec, like what would I say? Like just a rando off the street.
Oh, true. That is tough.
Yeah. Um, I think okay, Daisy Jones and the Six, like oh
Go
my
to.
God,
Yeah.
that one is so good. And like in the Midnight Library, I love that one. But again, I'm a depressing media kind of person. So if you don't like depressing media, maybe these are not for you. But I don't know, like Midnight Library, like that one's just a thinker. It's like it gets you thinking about your like what would be your quote Midnight Library. If you don't know what that means, I'm so sorry, but you have to read it because I'm not good at explaining. Um, and then other ones. Oh my gosh. I think Unsteady. Unsteady was so good. Like that one, that's definitely up there in my brain.
Yes.
Oh, I'm like looking through my 6-star reads on Goodreads. I'm like, oh, I love that book. I love that book. I recommend it to everyone. I don't know.
I know, yeah, that's true. Like I think I would always recommend Turtles All the Way Down to like anyone.
Mhm.
Um,
Ooh, all the bright places. Oh, guys, that's a depressing, like depressing YA book. But oh, it's so good. And then for a light and fun one, people we meet on vacation.
oh, for sure. I love that. Okay, I feel like we kind of have talked about this question a little bit, especially because we always give our 2 cents when we ask authors for their controversial takes. Um, but just for a refresher, I guess, are there any tropes you feel super strongly about, good or bad?
Super strongly about I hate love triangles. I just hate them because I don't like having to make a decision and then being wrong. Okay, guys. Because I don't want to be rooting for the guy that's not it. Because that always happens to me. I'm like, no, but I love their history. Or I don't know. I'm a history kind of gal. So if people have history, I'm gonna root for them.
But then it typically ends up being the new guy. So I cannot win. And then I'll try everything once, I think. Okay, except I don't think I can get behind a why choose or
Mm,
harem or reverse harem, whatever it is. I don't think I can get behind that. I'm so sorry. I'm just a one partner kind of gal. Like yeah. If I can't get behind a love triangle, I can't get behind why choose.
right.
Um, and then favorite, oh, guys, fake dating. Give me some fake dating. Woo. I love that stuff.
Yes. So good.
What about you?
Yeah, a lot the same. I actually love triangle depends for me. I'm obsessed with the love triangle book that is not public, but it's amazing. And let's see. I Yeah, I think the only thing that I really would try everything. I also probably don't know. I've never like tried or read like a Why Choose or like anything when it comes to like the Omega verse. I just don't um I tried it for like a second and I struggled. Um and but love I love that other people are into it. It just perplexed me. And I was like, I'm not ready for adapting my knowledge for this right now. Um, favorites, definitely fake dating also. And definitely a newfound appreciation for friends to lovers. I used to be way more of an enemies or like rivals to lovers kind of girl, and I still love that, but friends to lovers is now like big, big thing for me. And I think it is like that history thing. But yeah, I ride for those for sure.
Yes, so good. Okay. If you haven't already listened, then maybe you don't know. But we kind of did already talk about this next one in our episode with Elle. But if we were to hack your notes app, what would we find?
Yeah, and I think we like talked about this during Notes app November too, but
Yeah, true.
um mine has definitely it's literally just my weekly dinner list is at the top always. Um yeah, definitely all the same things we talked about with L. Um but like this is actually so funny. Like random list I didn't delete. That just this one just starts with eggs. Eggs, lemon, butter, skincare. I think this was my pre-Phoenix day that I like was shopping. But all that things that I need to copy paste quickly. Um random ideas for comps, ideas for titles for my other book I'm working on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, these are so funny. So ones I didn't talk about last time. So I have like a list of all my concerts, but guys, if you don't have concert archives, you should get it because that one's so fun. You can log all the bands you've seen, all the artists, all the venues, and it gives you stats. Love it. And then I have oh, bro, this is literally called Mail Checklist. Last time I edited it is November 13th, 2023. So it has like the things I want and in order of things that I want them. It's like importance of most to least, and then turn offs. So funny. Oh, this one is hilarious. British boys, Grant versus Graham. I have a theory that every British man can be separated into a Grant or a Graham.
Mm.
I can't tell you why, but it just makes sense. I have rest in peace, Outcast ideas. And those are like pinned ones, and then not pinned ones. Most recently, life calling statement from my women's cohort summit I was just at last week. Final edits. Um, oh, we have a 214 author cast. That is not done. Awkward. Oh my gosh. Our sorority girl diagnoses for our friends. Love that one. Oh, I still need to share that one with you. My bad. Packing lists, a 30 before 30 list, more packing list, target list. Um, yeah, a whole bunch of like draft texts that I have sent still in there. Yeah, lots of things.
Lots of things. Yeah.
So
Wow.
funny.
Yay. Okay, wow. Um Oh, dang. Last important thing. Um, what can we look forward to in the future from us? Anything we should share about the future?
Um, book two and book three, so it is a trilogy. We have floated ideas around of like, do we want to do novellas? And honestly, like the more I think about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to develop these characters more. Like, I just think it'll be fun. Um,
Zach needs a moment.
yeah, Zach does. Um, and also Logan. Oh, so fun. Oh, drama. I just gave away a spoiler. Danny and Mason. I will say though, non-spoiler spoiler, book two is coming out 2/14/26. So
That's great. Non-spoiler spoiler. Yeah. No, honestly, I could not have summed it up any better. That's the future, and maybe we'll talk more tomorrow too. In that.
yeah. Once you read Me For You, or even if you don't read it, give us your ideas about who you think is next, and we'll, if you want to know, we'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Right.
Low key, we'll spill any secret you want us to.
Just ask.
That's the worst that's gonna happen. You don't like our answer.
Right.
Um, yeah, and Sam has some poetry collections coming out and some solo novels coming out, so
Yeah, maybe November. Hopefully November.
Ooh,
It does have edits in June, so it will be done.
that's so exciting. Um, yeah, and then more likewise, of course.
Wow, lots of likewise.
Lots of likewise. Okay, we have to rapid fire this. Song of the day. Sam, what is your song of the day?
My
It
song
can't
of
be
the
214 by the band Camino.
okay, it's gonna be Tiny Moves by Bleachers. Dang.
Oh my gosh.
That was
Fine.
what I did.
Um, mm, 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 mm. I will say my song of the day. I feel like this is gonna cut me off. Shoot, 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 shoot. Where is it? It is um I Hate Your Friends by Alex Coles. Like unrelated to this book,
Yeah.
but maybe it's related to a different one. And I say maybe because we don't know.
Right. And we'll just leave it like that, mysteriously.
Yeah, so fun. Okay. Thanks for listening. Hope you read Me For You and I hope you like it.
Yeah, same.